Hey, it's always fun to wake up and you're being talked about in a video. That's cool. I love the attention. let's let's break down what's going on with good old comics. Hey there. Ethan Van Sciver from Comic Artist Pro Secrets, that is a mouthful, did a video based on a tweet of mine based on a Facebook group talking about a block list. And if anything says we are off on the wrong track in good old 2019, it is that sentence. I like. In what world does that make sense at in any way? I mean, let the aliens with the EMPs come. It's time to try something new. Anyway, so some background quickly on this. I'm part of a number of different retailer groups on Facebook. Why am I part of these? Because I sell comics. I mean, by now, if you've been watching these videos, you were aware of this fact. Anyway, so and the Facebook groups feel a little bit like Diamond itself, like old fashioned and dumb. Like in 2019, we shouldn't be using Facebook groups or even Google groups. Various G Suite offerings. I don't know. It feels like just old fashioned tech. Like we're going into Facebook and we've got a group there and we're chatting. I don't know. It's not. It does not feel new and sparkly. Facebook itself feels like it's on the decline. I mean, just the share prices would tell you otherwise, but it definitely feels like this is for old people and people who haven't figured out technology yet. Sorry, I know there's some Facebook users who are listening to this going, "Hey, what the hell?" But it just doesn't feel new and fresh. Just like Diamond does not feel new and fresh as a distributor. Um, I don't think people quite realize or quite digest how old and crappy Diamond is. I think they're used to Amazon and online ordering. They're like, oh, it's got to be just like that. It's like, no, it could be infinitely worse. So I want you to picture a good old GeoCities website, and then I want you to picture like fax machines. And now you're starting to enter into the world of Diamond. But anyway, I'm off track. So in these retailer groups, the purpose of these groups, despite what a lot of people say in videos and other things, the purpose of these groups is not to collude against Richard Meyer. That's not why they were set up. It's not the intent. The intent was to basically help each other out because the publishers do a crap awful job of explaining what's going on and properly writing solicits and making these comics, making so you know what you're ordering. And then variant cover schemes are often very poorly described. And so it becomes like a place where retailers can throw every little nugget of information they've somehow managed to scrape up and put it in one place and we can talk about it. And also, if one retailer got shafted because Diamond's like, hey, I think I'll just not ship Batman this week. Why not? Let's see what happens to this store. There can be a little bit of, back and forth like, hey, did Batman ship for anybody this week? Am I calling up and yelling at Diamond or not? It can be a place where retailers can search for back issues for whales, like somebody comes in and they really want a particular issue. So it's an avenue for retailers to chat with each other and move comics around. All in all, it's a place for small business owners to help each other. That's the point. And in this group, there's always a couple. There's always just Big Bang Comics, one of them. There's always just a couple people who want to, in addition to all the things I just mentioned, want to be little activists. And they are the drama queens of the Facebook group. And unfortunately, in many cases, their stores are just large enough and they have just the back issue quantity that other retailers put up with them and don't kick them out of the group. But they are the ones who come in and they want us to know about, an artist who said something mean or Ethan Van Sciver's Nazi signature. They just want to bring that kind of stuff out all the time. And then there's a little bit of, I don't want to say gatekeeping, but a little bit of, if I find out that one of you is selling Jawbreakers somehow, then, I'm going to seriously have to, rethink selling you back issues. Now, these people usually aren't the admins of these groups. I mean, some of them are admins of other groups, but not the ones I'm in. I tend to steer toward the groups that are more dull. Let's say just getting business done. If I want my drama, I've got old Twitter, you've got YouTube there. You've got plenty of avenues for good old drama. I don't need it in a place where I'm trying to make money. But anyway, so one of these guys posted, it's like, I've been getting a lot of questions, which is never true, but whatever. I've been getting a lot of questions about um, you know, block bots, and I heartily recommend blockchains, and they're really easy. People think it's too hard to set up a blockchain. Nobody thinks this, but whatever. So if you want to keep some of these alt right people out of your shops, then and for respect of the individual, I don't know why, I don't know, but I'm not going to repost the entire message. There's a code of honor in the group that you're not going to go and post somebody else's stuff out into the world publicly. It's like DMs. I respect that. Even if somebody's saying something crazy, they deserve the privacy and the rules that were set up. But anyway, they post out, here's some people, here's where you go. Here's a Chrome extension that you can install. And here's a list of the people you have to block. If you block all these people, you'll get rid of all the Nazis, all the evil, hateful comic skater people, and they list out a handful of names. It included Ethan Van Sciver and the God, I can never remember the lawyer guy that for whatever reason is involved in anime and comics. Nick, come on! There's a bunch of people right now listening to this who are just shouting the name into the computer. Nick Rakita. See, what I need to be smarter about this. I can pause the recording, see, and then go look. That's that's thinking smart right there. But anyway, those guys, Doug, and then a couple of kind of oddball names. I never understand. I mean, I understand if you're annoyed by Edwin. He does like little video responses, although maybe he doesn't anymore. I don't know. I haven't seen him. A bunch of these guys I followed at different times, and then one day I wasn't following them anymore. I don't know what happened. Didn't remove them, but okay. But anyway, and Edwin's one of those. He just disappeared one day. Don't know. Anyway, a couple people like that. It's like basically block all these people and out you go. So I did some good old fashioned math and ran through Twitter Analyzer, which is always fun, and got to a unique follower list, and the number came out to around 44, a little over 44,000 people. And so I posted a little thread about in my view, how insane this was. And I'm always shocked by people who want to defend blockchains and bots as a good thing, because when you're talking about, 45,000 people in an industry it is really struggling, and in particular, the indie part of it. So the interesting part about the block bots that needs to come out is people think about, a Tom Brevoort or a Mark Wade or somebody, you throw around names like that. But the people who are kind of most often using the blockchains are not the big guys. And this is a dirty little secret. If you're a small little indie creator, and why would you be listening to this if you are? But if you're a small little indie creator, you are kind of pressured by the big names that you should run these blockchains. You're told like, oh, you got to block all those Comic Gate people. Guess what? The big names are rarely blocking all the Comicsgate people. Yes, the Al Ewings of the world, the Mark Wades, the Dan Slotts, the Gail Simones, there's certainly people who are, but most are not. And a lot of the people who make little comments about, hey, you need to go block those guys, they're not blocking them themselves. And the other fascinating thing that I find deeply ironic and frustrating is that in many cases, they will run the blockchain on all the followers, and then they'll manually go out and they'll unblock the Ethan Van Scivers or the Doug Tins or the people who are the bigger names, because they don't want to hurt their network. They just want to screw with all the people underneath, which is just a screwy way of doing business. But for the small indie creators, they're kind of pressured to run these things, and it's just tiny indie creators that need the 45,000 plus audience. I'm not saying you'll court people who ideologically hate. There's a difference between actively courting them versus blocking them. There's this huge middle ground where you just sell comics and you don't worry about who they voted for. You just don't have that conversation. Anyway, but the indie creators are getting screwed in that deal. And so my comment was, hey, you indie creators, and in many cases, you small comic shops, you're getting taken for a ride. You're getting a bunch of the big names telling you, hey, you need to block these guys. These guys are really awful. They're not doing it, but they're encouraging you to do it. And if you're a small indie creator and you have less followers than I do, and I'm sitting around 2,000, you're making a massive mistake. You need that attention and that audience. And unfortunately, like I said, you can mute people. That's fine. You can individually block people who are coming at you in a thread. And again, I'm not discounting. I've sat with a creator who is getting just piled on because Richard Meyer did a video on them, and then a bunch of the followers came in and just started piling on this person, calling their comics stupid and other things. And I was sitting with this creator, and they're like, "Oh my God, there's thousands of people," and they're just like having a panic attack here. A lot of creators seem to be prone to those, but that's not a shot at anyone. It's just you feel things differently, whatever. So I'm like, no, let's take a look here, and we're like looking at the guy's phone, and it's like, look, see, there's 30, maybe 40 people here. That's it. Many of them are replying to each other, so that's why your phone's going nuts right now. But there's like 30, 40 people here. It's not a big deal. I'm not saying it's not scary. I'm not saying it doesn't suck. It absolutely sucks to get piled on. Absolutely. But let's not exaggerate 30 to 40 people into thousands because you're hurting yourself. I'm not trying to protect the 30, 40 people. I'm not trying to protect the, thousands of people who are calling themselves Comic Gate at all. I'm saying you're doing yourself a disservice by imagining thousands of people coming at you. It's 30 to 40 people. And you know what? It's not that hard to block or mute 30 to 40 people. So do it. Do it. If there's some people who are actively attacking you, do it. Block them. Go at it. No problem. Do it. I mean, but running a blockchain against a name that over there in the old follower account has like 30, 40,000 followers, you are going to take out way more than the 30 to 40 people who are bothering you right now. And when you take them out, when you block them and then they come to your page and it says blocked and they have never talked to you and haven't ever heard of you before, their immediate reaction is going to be anger. It's going to be, what the hell? I mean, how many times have you been on Twitter and you've seen, I have never talked to this creator before or even knew who this person was and I am blocked. What the hell? And you get an angry feeling. And guess what? Those people carry that angry grudge for years in a lot of cases. You've attacked them. That's how they take it. That's how they feel. So it's just not smart. Again, do what you want. It's your Twitter. It's your social media. It's your life. You can do whatever you want. But if you want to make money, if you want to have a higher profile, then you need to take every avenue you have. And I'm sorry if your plan is to kind of suck up and kiss up to a couple of the editors who are currently at the big two and they'll give you a job. Well, you need to hurry that up because history shows us that in 5 to 10 years, a lot of those people will be cycled out and cycled on. They don't last. The comic network is extremely fluid and ever changing. Anyway, that's kind of the background behind that tweet. That went on way longer than I intended. Sorry about that. In terms of in his video, Van Sciver talked about a few other things in relation to retailers and kind of how the business works. If you've seen the other videos that I've done, great. Please dive into those. But the key about in talking about the comic shop and retailer schemes and variant schemes and kind of other things. The one point I wanted to get across real quick is that frequently in Comicsgate and a lot of the other videos, they talk about, and I say they. It's not a we versus they. I like I said many times before. Whatever hashtag you're using, if your goal is to create comics, get them out into market, talk to fans, be supportive, and create new work out there, and not be an a-hole in the process, I am with you. I will stand by you. I will promote you. I like you. I'm fine. If you are an a-hole in the process, hey, I'm not going to, publicly give you a pats on the back or do any of that, but I still hope you make some comics in the process. If you make them, if you have a bad day and you just, and things have gone wrong and you want to kind of blow up and have an implosion on Twitter, I will forgive you. I am the guy who forgives everybody over and over and over. Look, everyone has a bad day. And I absolutely hate it in our world where somebody can get frustrated, blow up, and then suddenly it's like excommunicated from the Garden of Eden forever. You must wander the desert forever. I mean, everybody needs to be allowed to, have good days and bad days. We're human. That's who we are. That's my take anyway. But there's a common comment that's made around, the poor retailer is stuck in the middle. And yeah, the retailer faces a lot of uphill battles, and it's a struggle to be a retailer. It's not something for the faint of heart. It's not something if you want to get rich. But I do want to point out, just for what it's worth, the retailer did pick this life. They're not, and I say it as somebody who's won. I think we opted in for this, and the retailer is not complicit. I do want to say, make it 100% clear, as I have before. You had half a dozen retailers making a lot of noise about jawbreakers. There are hundreds of retailers. The majority of retailers had one view and one view only on the Jawbreakers comic, and that was, if it will sell, I will order it, and then I will make money. If it will not sell, I will not order it. If the creator becomes a crazy person and is so crazy that the comic will not sell, I will not order it. If the comic's going to be such a brand of controversy that people are going to come to my shops and throw bricks at it, I will probably not order it. If the comic is going to do amazing things in the aftermarket, then I will make sure I have some. By the way, that train of thought that I just described is how retailers think about every comic, all of them, all political ideologies, all creators. It's, will it sell? Will it not sell? Is this comic going to cause unwanted noise and be a huge giant pain in the ass that's going to cost me money rather than make money? Then yeah, I'm going to think twice about it. That's life. Sorry, that's just life. Again, for what it's worth, I was signed up to get Jawbreakers. For what it's worth, I got Jawbreakers. I went through the crowdfunding, got some issues there in the shop, put them on the shelf. So, I mean, I don't care. My goal is to sell books, like the vast majority of retailers. There's a couple retailers, half a dozen, that like to make trouble. They make noise. They're drama queens, kings, both. Every week, it's something new. Usually every day, there's somebody who's violated this, or there's some creator who's done this, and the words problematic come out, every other day, and it's nauseating and it's endless. But there are always going to be people like that. It's not indicative of the industry. It's not indicative of all retailers, and I will get very irritable when I'm told that all the retailers are bad and they're all colluding against the crowdfunding guys. Nope, not at all. Retailers want to sell books. That's what we're here for. And that's kind of the origin behind a lot of the Team Comics stuff that I've used as well. Though I forgot that there was a Team Comics hashtag on my profile. I will probably remove that because it's lived past its usefulness. Anyway, that's the big story. Hey, I'm in a video. I've made it big time. Yay! Please send me a bottle of tequila. Support my Patron, please. My Patron is the stock is running slim on my Patron. I drink more whiskey, to be honest, but support my Patron. I like it. Hey, like, subscribe, hit the bell for notification. That would be great. I would love the attention. Cool. If I'm going to get signal boost in the video, then at the very least, I could be pointing my channel. I mean, come on. Just fair. Jeez. Follow me on Twitter at Comic Perch. Thank you for listening.